abode of Lord Chaitanya, the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the incarnation of Krishna, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayana. He is non different than Sri Radha and Krishna. But in this incarnation, he's come as a devotee of Krishna. When Krishna was here 5,000 years ago, he demanded Sarvadaram Parityaja Mamikam Sharanam Raja Aham Tang Sarva Papibhyo Mokshayishim Masuchaha, that you should surrender unto me, and by my grace you will come back home to me, I promise. But Krishna said that people found it difficult to surrender everything to Krishna. So Krishna said, then I'll come in the form of my own, as my own devotee, and I will show you how to surrender to Krishna. And therefore Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is known as a Bhakta Avatar. He came as his own devotee. This was his mission, to show us how to surrender to Krishna. So simply by chanting the holy names of Krishna and Nama Sankirtan, he inaugurated the Yuga Dharma, which is Harinam Sankirtan. And he's showing everyone giving everybody an opportunity to engage in his service, because he is Radha Krishna. So like this, by serving Mahaprabhu, we can actually serve Radha Krishna, who is very difficult to approach. But as Mahaprabhu, they're not accepting offenses. They're not considering qualification or disqualification. They're simply giving, here is Raja Prema, here is Krishna Prema. You can take it freely. So it is Lord Chaitanya's desire, and this has been revealed by Nityananda Prabhu in the Navadip Mahatmya of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, that Lord Nityananda Prabhu was telling Jiva Goswami that this is the Lord's desire. Eka hiha adbhut mandir hoy vi prakash, gauranga nitya seva hoy vi prakash. That a very astonishing temple will appear in Mayapur. This was a prediction. There are many predictions he made. Same time, Nityananda Prabhu. First he said Ganga will come and cover the whole area for about 100 years of Mayapur. And everything gets flooded out, and everybody leaves, and they go to live in highland. And then, after the 100 years, it's not flooded, but Ganga Devi is constantly twisting like a snake for her pleasure, and she washes away all the places away. Even the Mahaprabhu's birth site gets lost. That's for 300 years. So then, 100 years flood, 300 years, Ganga is moving, and then after that, again, Nityananda Prabhu said again, Ganga will go back to a steady course. Many, many bathing ghats will be built here again. Many, many residential buildings will come. Many temples will spring. And then this Adbhut Mandir, a very astonishing temple will appear. And from that temple, Gauranga Nitya Seva Hoivi Prakash, that service to Lord Chaitanya will appear. Lord Chaitanya is Radha Krishna. So he's giving his own service. And the main service is Nama Seva. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare. And Srila Prabhupada described this in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, one purport. He said, in Mayapur, periodically there is a flood. This is an indication that the flood of love of God will begin from Mayapur and go all over the world.
Haribol.
Haribol. So, Gauranga Nitya Seva, Prabhupada described as, yes, it's a flood of love of God, that the holy name goes all over the world, and everybody gets caught up in this great flood of love of God. So it will come to these places like Edmonton first when it comes, because already you are here, you have the centers established, you are worshipping already Radha Krishna and Gauranga. So the floods, they will come first to these places. So we can expect it. All the other predictions are coming true. The Ganga stopped flooding, and then Ganga was twisting. Even when we were there, 1972 in Sri Dham Mayapur, Ganga was still moving, washing away many places. But now she's not. She's gone back to a steady course. This is admitted by the river authorities, that Ganga is now on steady course. There was something they call a floating island. It's a sandbar, and all the sand gets washed down the Ganga, and then suddenly it just gets washed in one place, and the Ganga cannot move, so she has to divert. That's why she's constantly twisting, because of this sandbar they call a floating island. Anyway, now that's gone out to the Bay of West Bengal, and the river authorities have said we won't be flooding anymore because of this. Floating island's gone out to the Bay of West Bengal. And another prediction was many bathing ghats will be built. The government of the Ministry of Tourism in West Bengal has spent a few crore rupees to build a ghat there, what we call Prabhupada ghat, bathing ghat on the bank of the Ganga, and then many other ghats are being built also. And another prediction Nityananda Prabhu made was that many, again, devotees will live here as before and build residential buildings. Now, there are so many buildings there. There's villages there now. There's a few thousand people living there. Gauranga Naga, Abhay Naga, Saraswati Naga. These villages are villages popping up where devotees are staying. And Nityananda Prabhu says that in those houses they all have deities of Jagannath and Krishna and Gaunitai. And you will always hear the holy name. So anywhere you go now, you can hear the holy name, and devotees are chanting. So all of these predictions are coming true. That many temples will be built. Now many temples are being built. Not only ISKCON, but Gaudiya Math is there. Many temples. And so then this Adbhut Mandir, this very astonishing temple, will come. So this is a fulfillment of the desire of Lord Chaitanya and Srila Prabhupada and the different acharyas have tried to establish Mayapur. And Srila Prabhupada is actually really, apart from taking the chanting Hare Krishna all over the world, again he has established this great desire of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to have this astonishing temple be built in Sri Dham Mayapur. It's astonishing in two ways. One, it's astonishing that this is the first time that the Vedic culture will go all around the world. The chanting of the holy names of Krishna will be heard in every town and village of the world. This means the Yavanas, the Malechas, the Zulus, the Pygmies, everyone's going to be chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. This is astonishing. Because generally these people outside of Bharatvarsha just didn't go so far. But now this movement is going to all the different so-called untouchables, but now they're becoming all Vaishnavas and chanting Hare Krishna. This is very, very astonishing. This is the first time in history. King Yudhishthira was a king 5,000 years ago, and he established, but Europe was existing, but nobody really went there because they were uncultured. They weren't following Vedic culture there. So nobody even went there. It was existing. But Prabhupada's like the first person in history history going back to 5,000 years or more, the first time that the Vedic culture is going to be spread all over the world. And the second wonderful thing, Adbhut, means that we're going to this, in the dome, Prabhupada, this temple has a big dome you've seen. Within the temple is the structure of the universe, as we get from the Vedic information and Srimad Bhagavatam, how this universe is 14 planetary systems, upper planetary, lower planetary systems, a middle planetary system. The Earth is a middle planetary, and there's Swagaloka upper, and then there's different lokas down, Patala Loka, Shatala Loka, Patala, hellish planets and heavenly planets. So the living entity is transmigrating through all these different systems. Sometimes a demigod, sometimes a worm in the soil. changing bodies, constantly going around. And so according to the karma, then we are born in a good family, a high planet, in the higher planet, in the lower planetary system. This is due to the karma of each living entity. So, so we're going to show this. We'll depict it actually almost like a model hanging. Prabhupada said it should be like a chandelier hanging from the dome, and there will be Mahavishnu laying down from his navel is coming for the lotus flower, Lord Brahma is born, and the planetary systems. And Prabhupada said it should be moving. You should see how the day and night is taking place, how the eclipses take place, and things like that. So that will be actually three-dimensional. That'll be hanging in the dome like a big chandelier. And then there's other domes there. You see, we'll have like planetarium where we can project, with modern technology, which we can get a much better effect on, the different planets, the different life that goes on there, and different forms, all that can be displayed much more easy with modern technology. But so anyway, that's going to be wonderful because nobody has this information. No, modern scientists, they don't know if the universe goes on forever or it has an end. They don't know. You just have so many speculation. They don't know. So here is something very scientific. It's presented from the oldest source of knowledge, the Vedic scriptures, and it's scientific. So if you're actually a scientist, you will take time to examine it and see it as a science, and you'll see that it surpasses all the other sciences. The others are very, very shallow in knowledge. So it's going to be a slap in the face actually for the world. Please wake up. This is what the world is like. This is how the creation takes place. We got all this information. It's not just a big bang or something like that. It's very scientific the way everything is created. That's all the information is there. Plus here is an information of demigods which nobody knows about. It's out of India. And then even beyond that, here is a description of God which nobody's got. They don't know what God looks like. What his voice sounds like. The softness of his skin, the sweetness of his aroma. They don't know all these things, but we get all this information. And we get the abode where the Krishna is living, his abode, Goloka, the highest planet in the spiritual sky. Then there are below that the Vaikuntha planets, and then Shiva Loka, Maheshtam, Brahma Loka. So all that's going to be depicted. So nobody has information. So the scientists and religionists, they're going to have to start to do a little bit of rethinking. So it's kind of a wake up, shake up world here. It's Hare Krishna is here, and it's going to present the facts according to the Vedic scriptures, which are very authoritative and have been accepted since time immemorial. The Vedas, when the universe is created, the Vedas are created at that time. Just like you go and buy one of these cars here, you're going to get a user's manual, how to use this machine. So similarly with the creation of the Vedas, Krishna sends a user's manual. Here it is. It's called the Vedas. You act like this, you want happiness, you act like this, you get maximum happiness. You act like this, you'll get... those who act cultivate the mode of ignorance will have suffering. Those who cultivate the mode of passion will have also suffering. Those who cultivate the mode of goodness will have knowledge. So, this Vedic literature, just like Bhagavad Gita, is a book on destiny. Krishna says, if you act like this, if you worship the Devas, you'll go to the Devas. You worship the Pitras, you go to Pitraloka. You worship the Buddhas, you go to the Buddhas. You worship me, you come to me. So it's your destiny. Those who act in passion will have suffering, and those who act in ignorance will have illusion. And as a result, we know, if you do this activity, this is going to be the result. If we do this activity... So it's a book on destiny, actually, Bhagavad Gita. So all this information is there, and it's not been known to the world. So what we're trying to do is to make an awareness of, right now, the TOVP, the Temple of the Vedic Planetarium, for people get to start understanding. And yeah, so then we'll present this as it is, and it'll be a great glory for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the previous acharyas have decided, and also for anybody who also participates somehow or another in establishing this wonderful project of TOP, will be the greatest preaching thing. For it's going to be the greatest thing for Hinduism in the world. It's going to put Hinduism in its proper place. Hinduism, we mean Vaishnavism. It's going to put it in this place. And then we can remove Radha Madhava and Panchatattva and Shingadev and into their beautiful palace and new home, and they can preside over the world, over the universe, for the next duration. And Prabhupada would be very pleased. It's all Prabhupada's, the idea of this whole Vedic planetarium. It's Srila Prabhupada's been giving us these indications while he was here. And Prabhupada never hesitated to, call a spade a spade. He was very outright, he was very outspoken, because he was speaking the truth. He knew what he was saying. And Prabhupada said, actually, I'm the only one who criticizes openly. Not only religionists, but anyone who falls short of complete surrender to Krishna. This is Prabhupada's standard. Surrender to Krishna, this is Prabhupada's standard. Anything that falls short of that, I criticize openly. No one else criticizes openly because they'll lose all their followers. They have this system, whatever system it is, but if they criticize, oh, you're not supposed to criticize, okay. They don't say anything. But Prabhupada spoke the truth, he knew the truth, and it was actually beneficial for the living entities. And Srila Prabhupada, he came to give us service. Chanting Hare Krishna is Gauranga's favorite, service to Lord Krishna. He came to give us, and who else is giving service to Krishna? Who else has a conception of service? All these different clubs and yoga clubs and parts of Dhyan, Karma Yoga. Because you follow them, all these, you have many in your communities, you must know some yoga group or this group or that group. But you follow, what are they actually, so what is their ultimate goal? It's certainly not service, because you don't want to become a servant, you want to become the enjoyer. So it's all about enjoyment. They're all about enjoying. It's not a question of service. Who wants to be the servant? I want to be the enjoyer. So all these processes, you analyze them, any process you know, and you analyze where they're all about enjoying. So this is the original disease in the material world. We're trying to imitate Krishna, being the controller and enjoyer. Now they're still holding on to that. They make so many isms and schisms. But it's all about enjoying. And Prabhupada was the only one. No, service, you're a servant of Krishna, you're an eternal servant of Krishna. So this is what we need. We are the souls trapped in this material world, transmigrating through 8,400,000 different species of life, again and again and again. It's not very pleasant, considering we're eternal and full of knowledge and full of bliss. The soul, this is the nature of the soul. But this is a fact. We're eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. Why are we subjecting ourselves to a position where we have to take birth, we have to grow old, we have to become diseased, we have to die? But that's not our nature. We are eternal and full of knowledge and bliss. But due to illusion, due to Maya, we are subjecting it. I am this body, therefore I'm getting old, therefore I'm becoming sick. I'm this body, therefore I'm dying. I'm this body because I've just taken birth. It's all based on bodily consciousness. So the only thing can get the living entity out of this samsara business, this birth and death business, is if he engages in Krishna's service, because he is the eternal servant of Krishna. Jipaya Srupaya Nitya Krishna Das. We need service more than anything else in the world. That's what we need. That's what's going to make the soul happy. Nothing else will make the soul happy. Prabhupada gives an example, the baby crying, and one mother's trying to make him something. She hands him to the next Mataji, and the next Mataji's trying to make the baby cry. She doesn't stop. She gives to the next one, whatever she does, she tries to make it. The baby doesn't stop crying. Then they give to the original mother. She stops crying. So like that, we are searching. With that happiness, we are searching for so many ways. We're taking bodies of demigods, demons, up and down, animals. It's all for pleasure. Where is that ultimate satisfaction? We don't find it in this material world. It's only when we turn to Krishna, Krishna's holy name, which is transcendental. And we engage in Krishna's service, because that is our constitutional nature. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was teaching us. Jivya Surupaya Nitya Krishna Das. We are the eternal servant. So Prabhupada was the person who came and gave us service. He picked us out of this gutter of material existence, birth and death business. You don't belong here. Why you are rotting in this material world? I have come with a message from your Father. He loves you. He wants you to come back home, back to God. Here is chant the holy name. Here is Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. Chant and dancing ecstasy, go back home. Why you are rotting in this material? This is Prabhupada. He gave us, nobody's giving service to Krishna. Giving you some hope for some kind of happiness that will actually never be. So this is why it's very adbhut, it's astonishing. At the last, after millions and millions of births, it's understood we've been in the material world millions and we've taken birth millions and millions of times. After all this time now, Prabhupada coming in one lifetime, the end of this time, we can go back home, back to God. This is a very unique thing in one lifetime. By the grace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his mission. If we follow his mission, we'll get the fruit. We can go back to God in one lifetime. Which generally takes many, many lifetimes. Bahu Nam Jamananati, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, after being a jnani, searching for truth, after being a jnani for thousands of lifetimes, then one comes to the point of Vasudeva Sarvamiti. Samhatma Shalula. Such a great soul is very rare. He comes to the conclusion, yes, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It takes thousands of births to come to this understanding of beginning. But you meet a pure devotee of the Lord and he says, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You are his eternal servant. Here is his service, chant Hare Krishna. One day. By moment's association with the sadhu. His first Bhagavad Gita, Bahu Nam Jamananti, after thousands and thousands of births of being a jnani, one comes to the point of understanding Krishna Vasudeva is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's Krishna's writing in Bhagavad Gita. It's going to take you thousands of births of being a jnani. So Prabhupada said now, this is the conclusion by Krishna. After thousands and thousands of births of being a jnani, you'll come to the point of surrendering to Krishna. So, if I tell you that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and you should surrender to him, and you hear me, and you accept it, and you do surrender to Krishna, he said you skip those thousands and thousands and thousands of births, because you come to the conclusion of those thousands of births of being a jnani, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is the value of the moment's association with pure devotees such as Srila Prabhupada. They just clear the way, illuminate the world. You can go back to Godhead in one lifetime. This is not heard of actually in the Vedas. This is the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. You spend 100 births of following Varnashram perfectly. You get a position of Lord Brahma. And that's temporary. But by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's grace, by his Sankirtan movement, one life he's taken us back home, back to Godhead. So this is so unique, this TOVP. Spiritually, it's saving us, it's taking us back to God. Materially, it's just giving the proper conclusion of all the material universe, how it's been done. What is the purpose of the universe? It's answering all these questions. So it's such an enlightenment for the whole world. It's the greatest preaching project that we have at the moment. So we're so fortunate to be around at this time where we can actually be in a part of this movement, we can participate in this great desire of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's come all the way to the material world, into the spiritual world, into the material world to give his message. And it was only 500 years ago that he appeared, 529 years, that he appeared here. So it's very relevant. This is called the golden age of Kali Yuga. During this Kali Yuga, which lasts for 4,470,
80,000.
something like that.
80,000 years.
Anyway, it started 5,000 years ago, after Krishna's disappearance from the planet. So it goes for 10,000, it's called the Golden Age in Kali Yuga. For 10,000 years, this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan movement. It goes up 5,000 years and it peaks, and then like maximum the whole world is Krishna conscious. Then it starts to decline for the next 5,000 years, so 10,000 years total. And then after that, everybody becomes degraded. There's no more preaching anymore. So the next incarnation is Kalki avatar. Kalki comes, only his preaching is by sword. Everybody's so ignorant, they get nothing to understand, they can't understand. So better to kill them. So Kalki avatar comes, he kills everyone. Then that ushers in the next Satya Yuga. Then the Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, the cycle goes on again. So what is 10,000 years in comparison to the lifespan of the universe, or even Kali Yuga? Thousands and thousands of years. So we're so lucky to be around right at this time. We get this opportunity to serve Mahaprabhu Krishna in his most munificent incarnation. And his desire has not been fulfilled. So we can help fulfill the Lord's desire. This is something very wonderful. When Krishna appeared here 5,000 years ago, as he says in Bhagavad Gita, when there is a decline in true religion and irreligion becomes prominent, at that time I event myself and I kill the demons and I establish the devotees. So Krishna wanted to establish King Yudhisthira as the emperor because he was Bhakta. Yudhisthira was Krishna's greatest devotee. So Krishna did that. He killed all the big demons. From Putana, Aghasura, Jannivas, all those big demons, Kamsa, Shishupal, Jarasandha. And he established Yudhisthira, Dharmaraj, on the throne. Everything was finished. Krishna went back to God and all the spiritual world, Golokadam, Vrindavan, everything. Went back, it descends here and then goes back again. Of course, the replica on this planet is also identical. But anyway, Krishna finished his pastime and then everyone went back. His abode, all of his devotees, his mother, father, everyone. They all went back home, back to Godhead. Finished his pastime. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came 500 years ago, but he didn't finish his pastime. His pastime, his mission was Vriti Priti Chato Aga Nagaradi Gram Savatra Prachpoitmurn. In every town, in every village of the world, the holy name will be chanted. Mahaprabhu didn't do that. He only preached in India. He only got him to chant in India. So his mission's not finished. So what we are doing here, now this temple is the other side of the world from India, from Mahaprabhu's birthplace, from Krishna's birthplace in Vrindavan, completely the other side of the world. But here, this is like a continuation of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime, because his mission is not finished. It still has to go to every town and village of the world. So it's like kind of a very small, insignificant place here in this little place called Edmonton, in the other side of the world from Mayapur Dham, where Gauranga lives, and Vrindavan, where Krishna lives. But we can understand it's Mahaprabhu's pastime. This is an extension of Mahaprabhu's Leela. Because his desire wasn't fulfilled. Every town and village, that was his desire. So this is the importance of this Krishna consciousness movement. And although it seems like an insignificant center here, that people can come and take advantage and understand the greatness of this movement, the transcendental movement of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and be able to actually participate in this somehow or other. Oh, it's the greatest benediction. So anyway, you're doing a little bit here, and as I said, that flood will come here first. It will come to Edmonton before other places, because already you're chanting the holy name in this town of Edmonton. You're doing your part, so you'll be swept away with this flood of love of God. We're waiting for that.